We go. All right, welcome in. It's another edition of the Topper Nation News Podcast, the TNN podcast. Joining me is Mr. Quinonez. He's here to talk about after-school clubs. Now, he sent me the flyer, and I really like a lot of these clubs. I had some experience with Southern Word working with Power Youth. Just Keep Living. That's Miss Rosa and Miss Dennis. I plan to dive a little deeper into that club with them. You have neuroscience. You have a design it and create it, Avanza English learning, and there's also a music production club as well. I think that's one and the same. So what, Mr. Quinonez, I want to ask you this. We've revitalized the after school clubs. What kind of impact do you feel that's already made since we've started it, and how can we re-energize it, and how can we boost it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, we're part of a after-school grant through our district, and we are the only high school of the 21 schools that are receiving this grant. We're the only high school tier. So it's pretty awesome that we're getting funds so that we can pay our teachers to stay after school and support with these kinds of clubs. We have some money for transportation, for snacks, to do special events and things. And so we're really excited to have this program and even take it on to Lawson next year. But some of the ways, the number one thing that we wanted to accomplish through this is really continue to build a sense of community with our students. I think we all, when we think of high school, we think of our group of interest, right? Whether it was friends, maybe it was drama club. For me, it was like Spanish club, and so making sure that everybody that attends Hillwood has a place that they can feel like they're home and they're learning about something that they're excited about. So that's really where we're starting with clubs. We have a couple of clubs this year, and we're looking to grow to even more opportunities next year.
Well, with those opportunities, how can, does the grant cover growth, and how can current teachers that don't have clubs, if they're interested in a club, how can they start one, and how can they get funding and all the things that they need to probably operate?
Yeah, absolutely. Currently we're actually underutilizing our funds. So there's plenty of space for new ideas, new clubs. If we have teachers that want to pilot a club going into fourth quarter, we only have a couple of weeks left. After school programs will end the first half of May. We'd be willing to do some one-offs just to kind of test for next year. There is pay involved for current MNPS or current Hillwood employees. So if you're interested in starting a club and you got an interest base from students, just reach out to me. Happy to talk out what that schedule can look like and what programs we can get started either this year or next year.
Absolutely. I think that's an exciting thing for teachers to try to maybe build that sense of community, or if there's an interest that they had, maybe during club time, they don't get all their students. So I think this is a good chance to really kind of hit those audiences. And I think some of the, I think the compensation piece is I think is going to be a big motivator for teachers to want to start some after school clubs and things like that.
Yeah, and it's very low maintenance, more than anything. We want to create a space that's fun and inviting for our students. We want to make sure that we're including, interests from all over the place. We understand, PLT clubs happen every Friday, and every student is in one of those clubs. But even out of those 60 clubs that we have, there are still interests beyond the clubs that we currently do on Fridays. So, some of our clubs only go 45 minutes after school. Others go an hour and a half. So like I said, it's very flexible. We want to meet the needs of our students, but also meet the needs of our teachers that are facilitating these kinds of programs. It's only once a week. Each club only meets once. We have one club that meets every other week, where we have Vanderbilt students come. So it's a very flexible program. The bottom goal is just to get kids plugged into a place that's exciting for them. We've had a lot of students say like, man, I was feeling a little bit down, but I decided to come to school today because I wanted to stay after school for the club that I signed up for, so that's, those kinds of things, help with attendance. They help with engagement during the school day. We've just had a great time, just implementing those clubs this year, and yeah, doing something that's just like really for fun. And obviously in the process, kids are learning as well.
Good deal. So yeah, just giving them a safe space to go after school, and not necessarily have to play a sport to get that experience. And this after school program, since COVID, I guess this is the first revival of it, and it will continue to grow. So how can they sign up? How can students help this thing grow?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can find the flyer on the Topper Weekly. Any week, it's always posted in there. If you look under the community resources page, just click in there and it'll take you to our menu and QR code. I think there's also a QR code on the flyers we have around school. We just posted some fresh new batch of flyers around. So just check out the hallways. You can use your smartphone and just check in that way. It's just an easy Google form. And of course, you can always come and talk to me. My office is in the main office if you have questions or even ideas about a new club that you want to get started. So.
All right. Well, you can, and another place you click that QR code is right here at the conclusion of this video. As soon as I get done talking, Mr. Quinonez, it was a pleasure to have you. You can email him at jquinonez@mnps.org. That'll be on the flyer if you want more information. You can scan this QR code coming up right now. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.